Travis Wingutso. I tried to do the video while I was watching Stargate or Star Trek Discovery, and no, I had to watch Discovery. Didn't want to be interrupted, and so this one, I'm listening to the news, so it's not as urgent a matter unless Brian drops a bombshell breaking news thing on me. As we're facing complete and utter destruction of the United States, there's going to be a situation now where anarchy will reign, as obviously there are going to be those of you who will want order and justice and harmony and peace and whatever established again. It's just not going to happen. We have to bottom out until we can rise from the ashes with a new system. And Obama, Beijing Berry. Yep, Trump's secret Chinese account. He's trying to sell off America and cash in before the destruction occurs. That's how I know that it's coming. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been doing this as well, as they've opened up the church, trying to get as much money as they can at the expense of Mormons' death and risk of death, and risk of exposure to the infection. Hell, he's darkened his black face with that orange cream gunk. And so I want to pull it out. I don't want to listen to him. It drives me nuts, Brian. Go back to complaining about him, please. Please. Dear God. Every word that comes out of his mouth is a trigger for anger. The guy is just full of hate and vile crime. And so I'm unaware of anybody that knows how to redesign a society. As Mormons themselves know that there will be a Zion society. We need it built first, Mormons. And instead, Mormons are thinking, we'll just wait for Nelson. Nelson will tell us when we're going to go to build it. Yeah, well, he's part of the destruction, guys. He's not going to tell you how to build it. He did, however, leave behind the satanic manual for how to establish the Church of Lucifer, handbook number 1, so that when the church leaders abandon the church, Mormons will be able to establish the church. The only problem is that they don't include the temple text documents, which are under lock and key in the temples, and so it'll require Mormons to get to them before the temples are destroyed and the documents destroyed. But it also requires that there are Mormons who survive who have all these documents. But with the number of stake centers and bishops and ordinance workers, I'm sure there'll be those who will obtain the information. Though we could have a repeat after the Romans annihilated the new Christian organizations, as you have a Gnostic group that employ temple rituals with higher knowledge than those of the other Christian organizations who adopted a creed based upon their created gospel narrative of how things went. The Gospels are designed in a way to humanize the prophecies, because obviously there was no Christ to save them, and so they created a gospel narrative to try to explain why nobody saved them. They got annihilated by the Romans, and thus they turned the prophecies, which were still yet to be in the future, now into an actual history. And so when the Nicene Council occurred, everybody had to fight to get their version of history corrected, or the dominant position. And even then, we're still left with 4 Gospels as a result. And people try to harmonize them, but no, they're all different. They profess a different Christ in each Gospel. They just don't realize that it professes a different Christ, because of the Nicene Council tried to homoousius them together into one, as that was Constantine's created word for their new god. And so Christians make the mistake of assuming that prior to Constantine that all scripture must be interpreted under this homoousius definition. Nope, can't do that. And so to redesign a whole new society requires the development of 4 categories. One is government, one is religion, one is economy, and the other is language. All of these are essential, core, keystone elements in developing a society. And I'm, as far as I'm aware, I'm the only one who knows how to redesign a society that will work. Because obviously we have a society, but it's about to crumble into dust. It's a failed system that we've been utilizing, but nobody understands how it is a failed system. Because my mom, back when I was in high school, arguing with her over the economy, she was under the impression that I should just be able to go out and get a job and pay for my mission and pay for my college and pay for a family. And I was trying to get across to her that Reagan had already destroyed us in that regard, prevented that from happening for my future. And she just blurted out in a ending discussion frustration of, this is the best we can come up with. It's unacceptable, Mom, because the system we have is a slave economy, where the corporate business owners and the board of directors and the investors are the slave owners, and the employees are the slaves. And so this is not the best economic system in the world that mankind can come up with. It's actually the worst. And it's being used right here in America, and is part of the reason why we're crumbling into ash. And And so in 1986, which was the summer after Benson, with his Metallica's brand new album is Evil, Master of Puppets, telling us that pregnancy is a vile sin. Let me get the correct definition for you. Hold on. It's the April conference. So we'll have to go to churchofjesuschrist.org. By union of feeling we obtain power with God? Oh dear God, Nazism unite. My hell, who is she? Oh, I was from conference. Oh yeah. God, women, you gotta stop. What am I doing? It's wrong. General conference. Alrighty. Yeah, there it is. Sharon Eubank. Dear God, Nazism. And if you don't know what Nazism, I need to go over this. So, in essence, what this video is a introduction to what I need to go over with you if I'm going to be able to get to it. I tried to get to it in publication, but never really developed it into the full publication. I was doing segments and revising it in different names, but going over each one of those 4 areas. Alright, April 1986. Alright, to the youth of the noble birthright in the priesthood session. Think about it all the time. Think about it all the time. Privilege, temple marriage should wait. Full-time missionary service. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Miracle forgiveness. See, he's quoting Kimball. So it's actually Kimball that said it. Okay. Pay attention. Among the most common sexual sins our young people commit are necking and petting. And of course, the priesthood Sunday school classes were talking all about how necking and petting was horrible. They just never would explain what necking and petting was. I understood petting like I understood a dog, where you pet the fur, or a cat. Had no clue as to what it meant. Nobody would even explain what making it to third base is. Or is it second base? So, pay attention here. Not only do these improper relations, of which they're not explaining what they are, often lead to. Now there's 3 that are listed, but pay attention to the middle one, which I'm going to tell you. Pregnancy. So I'm leaving out the other 2. Now, only do these improper relations often lead to pregnancy. All ugly sins. But in and of themselves, they are pernicious evils. And it is often difficult for youth to distinguish where one ends and another begins. Did you catch that? Pregnancy is an ugly sin, a pernicious evil, and so this was the book that all of us youth were required to read before we went on our mission. Benson brings it up in conference. This is the horror of the church, to think that pregnancy is a pernicious evil. And missionaries on the mission field found in the cupboard birth control pill stickers, which had a pregnant silhouette, woman silhouette, side profile, and then a nuke sign. Oh my goodness. But part of religion is to properly teach people about mortality. And that's part of the religious discussion that we would have, is we have strayed from a knowledge of the origin of religion. As the origin of religion, as I've been trying to get across to you, was all about sex ed. And yet now, the church especially teaches abstinence only. And so we're like, what's necking? Is that giving a hickey? What's petting? And it's those terminologies that they assume we all know. But when you have abstinence only, parents don't tell you because they don't want you to know about them. And so then when we listen to the prophets, they tell us about these words, and we're clueless, and so we have no clue. And so then we go and we do neck and pet and other things that lead to the pernicious evils. And we're like, well, the prophets never said anything. Yes, they did. Oh, did they? What was it? Oh, that's what that is? Oh. And so now we have a situation where bishops are trying to horrify little children in the bishops' interviews. That's been stopped, hopefully. But parents don't want the kids to know about sex. And so there's lots of confusion, lots of chaos, and it ruins the family unit because of it. And when I was, that summer in '86, I had two dreams that summer. And they were prophecy dreams. As I look back on them, I knew it when I was driving home from work up in Canada. I was in that dream as driving home, seeing the canola fields. And I went, holy crap, this is the dream. And I knew that it was being fulfilled at that moment. And then the other one was 2008. It was fulfilled. And so those dreams led me to want to create a board game. And I couldn't quite figure it out. It was a Civilization board game. Sid Meier's Civilization, which I prefer the Civilization 3 complete version. I don't like his improvements or sequels, and the previous ones I'm not happy with. But Civilization 3 complete has volcanoes and the other special features that you don't get in the regular one. But gotta pay attention to the news in case the volume goes out. They've been giving me grief for this past week. Been trying to get across to them to say, hey guys, you've got a problem, you need to fix it. As of yesterday they didn't. But that interest to create a board game had previously been inspired by the Auburndale Middle School, Auburndale, in Corona, where my social studies class, I was a good boy, but the other students chased out the main teacher, who had been teaching for who knows how long, and they kept chasing out substitutes one after the other. And so a male teacher came in, and he, boom, immediately gave everybody detention at the start of class to get our attention. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Detention? I've never had detention. I'm the good guy. And he took them all back at the end of class because we all behaved, but he ended up designing the class around our creation of our own society. We were supposed to draw the maps and develop the government and the economy and any other features, draw the flag, and there goes the... So they still haven't fixed the problem. God, pisses me off. God, Radcliffe is so lame. Russia, yes. I see the two guys putting the thumbs down on each and every single video. They're from Russia. It used to be 4. The other 2 are gone. I don't know why. Maybe I triggered them and they made a comment for which I deleted them or banned them from my channel. But the 2 know better and are purposely not getting triggered, and they're just, oh, Travis came out with another video, thumbs down. But I know they are collecting all of my videos, downloading them. They were doing that with my website, and so I know Russia wants my material, as the internet showed that they were paying attention to the lawsuits against the church. So yes, Russia wants to know everything that I know about the church, because they know I've got lots of juicy compromat that they can use against the church to get them to conform and comply to their will. And so, as a result of the teacher and his method of teaching us, that inspired me, and I wanted to turn it into a board game. And after the 96 or 86 dreams, I was more inspired. I wanted to build a little mountain display similar to my grandfather, late grandfather now, but in his mansion in Ventura, he had an attachment built on to the house where he could put his train set. And he had formed the mountain and had the really cool stuff. And that also I wanted to do in our backyard. And I said, Mom, I want to build a mountain in our backyard. No. When you get your own house, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, well, Reagan ruined that for me. But everybody thinks they know what they're doing. Oh, they're trying to sow discord in the election and try to... No. No, no. Buy yourself a copy or read it online in PDF. The Art of War. It's all in there, guys. You see, the misinformation and disinformation is what begins. Divide and conquer. And it obviously carries through the whole process, but we're no longer at that beginning stage. To have reports of, Iran and Russia, they're trying to throw confusion in our election. No, that's the beginning phase. They've been doing that this whole time. This is just more of the same. What newsworthy stuff is that they're not covering is that we're about to be destroyed. It's so frustrating. But anyway. And so I did eventually, actually, as having the fulfillment of 2008, which was from the 86 dream being fulfilled, that's when I finally figured out how to do it. But I still haven't completed the manual. I did rush a Zion manual for Mormons for the board game, but it needs to be updated. It's only for the first 1,000 years of play. Yeah, for my book signing. But there's been an awareness that I have, I guess we call it a gift, to be able to go into any situation, identify the theoretical principles that are being used to run the system, and thus fix the system if there are insufficiencies or weaknesses, to eliminate those and produce a better system. It most likely came from, I've had it before, but my education at the University of Lethbridge taught me philosophy of science. So I guess it organized it for me so that I can just do it on the top of the hat. But yeah, I've done lots of things that have saved companies millions of dollars, or obtained them millions of dollars, because of the system that I redesigned for them. And so, like I said, I'm probably the only one who knows how to redesign a whole society and have it work efficiently and effectively. And so in each of these 4 different videos, which we're already late today as it's after 7 o'clock, but I did shower and shave already. I will be going over how to design a perfect governmental system, perfect religious system, a perfect economy, and a perfect language system for everybody to communicate with. The current systems that we have are dividing and conquering us, and that's why they're failures. So look forward to those. Hopefully, I'm going to use my screensaver that I have on all my computers now for the cover thumbnails for all of these videos, and we'll go from there, as I intended to have them in published form But as it's the end of the world, it's important to get it out as quick as possible, just in case I don't happen to survive and the enemy wins. And so survivors can take my information and run with it, like the church is trying to do with their satanic Bible handbook.